Hello, world. This is CuzTheInternet podcast. I'm your host, Trey.
And I'm your Jose. Let's get into it. Ryan Coogler.
Black
So,
Panther.
the director. For those who do not know,
Oh,
he was detained in January because he went to a Bank of America to to withdraw funds, and basically the teller didn't feel comfortable, so she asked the manager. The manager said to call the police, calling
yeah.
protocol, and so they called the police, and now found out that it was Ryan Coogler. Long story short, my question for you is, do you feel like they handled the situation properly? Did the teller do what they were supposed to do? What are your thoughts on that?
All right. So let me break down scenario of the chain of events. So what happens is, like you said, he goes to withdraw money. He asks the teller, is everything okay? She says yes. He goes, puts his card
He
in.
also gives her a note.
Oh, well, you're right.
Okay,
He
yeah.
gives her a note, and it says the amount of money that he wants to withdraw. He says, is everything okay with that? She said yes. He takes his bank card, puts in the card, punches it in. She goes to the back, and then somebody else comes out at that moment, and he's like, everything okay? He's like, yeah, don't worry about it. Boom, boom, boom. And he punches it in. The next thing you know, he turns around. Police are behind him, telling him, back away. They're detaining him, arresting him, because they're suspicious of him being a bank robber. And then, he goes through the whole process of, proving that he's not and whatnot, right? So with all that being said, who do I think is in the wrong? Who do I not believe is in the wrong? I would love to say I believe the police are in the wrong, but in my opinion, they're not. You get a call saying they're suspicious of a person that might be a bank robber, or there's a suspicious person who may be a bank robber. So you have to treat it accordingly. Understandable, no matter how much, you know what I mean? We could be like FTP. I believe they handled it right. Now, I believe the bank teller and the manager handled it poorly. Again, there was no threat. There was no imminent threat. He literally put down a paper with the amount of money, asked if it's okay, and took his own bank card to withdraw the money. I don't see how you get a bank robber from that series of events. So I think they were 100% wrong. I think they should be fired. I think that he should sue, all the above. I don't think he handled anything wrong, because his reasoning for it is because he's withdrawing a large amount of money. He doesn't want to say it out loud. These are some desperate times, and people are willing to go through desperate measures. A lot of people are struggling. So I don't blame him for not feeling safe, just saying, hey, give me $10,000 just with people around you, just throwing that number out. So again, I don't think he handled it wrong. I think that it was the bank teller and the manager handled it poorly. I think they should lose their jobs. I think he should sue and make a lot of money off of this. How about you? How do you feel about it?
Okay, so I don't think the teller necessarily handled it wrong, but I think the bank manager did.
Okay.
And I'll explain. So, obviously, worked at a bank. I understand how it works. He came in. Yes, he left a note, but he also gave you identification.
Exactly.
Identification for California. He was in Atlanta, but it's neither here nor there.
Exactly.
Identification nonetheless. Gave you identification. He put in his card and put in the PIN.
Yeah.
Only he has access to the PIN number. The PIN. Sorry, it's not a PIN number because I'm saying number twice. But only he has access to the PIN.
Yeah.
Now, it's null and void if you share the PIN with anybody else. You're a breach of contract. So the bank is not responsible for any loss of wages or anything of that sort.
Yeah.
So, okay. When you put your card in the terminal machine and you put in your PIN, your information comes up.
Exactly.
Under occupation, it will say movie director, whatever it would say.
Yeah.
But it will have his occupation there.
Yeah.
Now, the note. I want to read the note. It said, I would like to withdraw 12,000 cash from
Mhm.
my checking account. Please do not please do the money counting counter uh somewhere else. I like to be discreet.
Mhm.
So once again, with her, I don't think she handled it incorrectly because
Mhm.
at the end of the day, and nothing against him or discriminating against him, it's still a lady. A gentleman came inside. Obviously, it's COVID time, so wearing a mask, dark glasses, and a hat. And he hands her a note. Maybe at this point, adrenaline's rushing because you know what? Maybe something is happening. I don't know. And maybe she's getting flustered, but she's trying to keep her composure. So she's not
Mhm.
really reading the letter properly.
Yeah.
So all she's saying is 12,000, be discreet. And so now she's asking him what kind of bills he wants. And he says, just read the paper. So maybe she's now freaking out and she says, okay, I'm going to go to the back and whatever. So she goes to the back and now she sees the bank manager. Now, she's the one who is in direct contact with the person who she suspects may or may not be a criminal.
Mhm.
She speaks to her manager who had no idea what was happening. So fresh eyes or fresh mind. She asks him what to do or asks the manager what to do. And he
Yeah.
says, call the police. Now, if he took the time out of his busy day to read that letter, he would have seen there was no threat there.
Yeah.
Because, okay, he gave you identification. He put in his pen with his own card. The letter does not say, give me $12,000 from the cash register. It says, can you withdraw $12,000 from my checking account? Can you count the money in another area? I'm trying to be discreet. There was nothing wrong with anything he wrote, anything there. So the bank manager, with a fresh mind, fresh
Mhm.
eyes, could have read it and said, you know what? There's no need to worry. Or at the end of the day, you know what? You're not feeling comfortable. Let me step in. And this
Okay.
way, the bank manager comes from the back. Hey, okay, yeah, here you go. Okay, yeah, everything's good. Okay, cool. Oh, occupation. Oh, hey, are you what movie are you directing right now? Oh, really? Oh, you're here for Black Panther too? Oh, okay. Crisis averted. But instead, he just said, call the police. So now she calls the police and she says, well, I think this is what's happening, and so on and so forth. So once again, I don't think she handled it wrong because she went to her manager and asked for his advice or her advice, the bank manager's advice. They said, call the police. I don't think they looked into it. So I blame the bank manager. And once again, like you said, I hope he does sue. And I hope
Mhm.
he gets a lot of money from it.
Yeah.
But that's just my.
And I agree with that part, but I do think I think Pat not blaming her. At the end of the day, she deemed him a threat. For whatever her reasons are, she deemed him a threat. Did she have the right to deem him a threat? That's the question. I don't know. You could look at somebody and be like, wait, is the way the person looks, whatever, and passing me a letter. Who knows? But the whole point is, if you don't read the letter, whose fault is that? Or if you read the letter but you misread the letter, whose fault is that? You could blame I'm not saying
But,
that the manager is not to blame as well. I'm just saying she is too. Again,
but
you are trained in certain situations how to handle certain situations. You are, regardless. I'm not saying they're
you can
Superman
be
or
trained
anything.
for every and anything.
But the point is,
When it really happens, you
but
don't know how you're going to
again, you
react.
can exactly. But now, can you not blame her because she reacted poorly?
I don't think she acted poorly because,
How
okay, hold on.
not?
Now, here, to be fair,
Okay.
this is stuff that they train you to do. So you're trained in looking for this, know your customer, and
Yeah.
so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if she feels uncomfortable,
Yeah.
it's go to your manager.
hundred
She went
percent.
to the manager.
Yes.
So I'm saying it's one of those things. Something is happening, you have split seconds to think of things, and it's like,
hundred
okay, now
percent.
she's panicking, but she has to stay calm because suppose it is a bank robbery.
hundred
And she,
percent.
they're trying to, then it's like,
100%.
okay, everybody gets it. But it's
Mhm.
like, okay, stay calm, try to keep my composure. I'm trying to read, but my mind is going a million miles a minute, so I
Mhm.
can't really focus. I can't blame her for it because at
Mhm.
this point in time in her mind, it's fight or flight. So it's
But again, she didn't do either. Now, I'm not gonna say the word, but let's say the person was strapped with a something, a boom,
mm,
right? Now, if it said you call the police, everybody, what that would be her fault for not paying attention to the letter or reading the letter. Again, you receive the letter, you look at the letter. If she didn't look at the letter, it's her fault. If she did look at the letter, it's her fault. That's all I'm trying to say. It's not only her fault, the manager's fault as well. But she doesn't get a pass, regardless of how she reacted or if she was nervous. The bank manager could have been nervous too. She could have actually been there longer than the bank manager. It could have been the bank manager's first week. She could have been working there for 2 years. She might. My whole point is that we don't know the situation. They both handled it wrong. That's
this is just something in passing, okay?
okay.
The Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act has unanimously passed the Senate. Lynching will finally be explicitly designated as a hate crime in this country. So that'd be the US. Now, like I said, I saw it in passing. How do you feel
Mhm.
about that?
I
Well,
think.
can I answer?
Go ahead.
This is BS. It means nothing
Mhm.
because we're just going to go back a couple of years ago, months ago,
Mhm.
when you would find the random African American child hanging from a tree.
Mhm.
And they said, oh, it's suicide.
Mhm.
So you can say whatever you want, but you're just going to deem everything as a suicide anyway. So what was the purpose of this? I don't get it.
Mhm.
It's one of those things where I feel like they just give little bits to keep us, I guess, happy for long enough while other things are happening. I don't think this is a win for anybody, but that's my personal
I think
opinion.
it's the opposite. I think it's they give little bits to keep us upset and our minds on certain things because they bring this up now just so that we're focused on it on how ridiculous it is that they passed an act how many hundreds of years later on something that everyone knows is, you know what I mean, crazy and a hateful crime. So
Yeah.
I think they do this to get us focused on something that we all know is wrong that shouldn't be happening. And like you
Mm,
said, they will deem it a suicide unless someone gets caught with the rope like, oh,
exactly.
and then they'll just come up with another reason why, mind you. So I'm just saying. Go ahead.
Speaking of rope, Jussie Smollett, did you hear about him?
No, I did not.
So he got sentenced to 150 days in jail and 30 days probation. Do you think that sentence fit the crime or not?
Not at all.
Do
I
you
don't
think he
think
should have
he
got more or less?
nothing. I don't think he should have got nothing. I don't think he should have got anything. And just bear with me. I don't think he should have got nothing because it was legit a witch hunt. Like I'm not saying whether he did or not. That's not what I'm arguing about. I'm just arguing for the fact that the first time he went to trial, he was not convicted, and they
Mm,
decided to go try to convict him for. And there's so many killers, rapists, um, abusers, pedophiles out there running these streets, and they have time to try this guy for lying twice. I don't think he should have got nothing. I'm just disappointed in the judicial system. Like it's stupid. It's really stupid. Like again, if he lied about it, well, they convicted him of lying. So again, if he allegedly lied about it, because I don't trust the
yeah.
judicial system, but if he allegedly lied about it, fine. He gets what comes with it. I'm cool with it. But to try him twice, no, I don't think that's okay because there's so much other things you could be doing rather than catching this person in a lie.
Mm.
It pisses me off, to be honest. How about you?
I mean, I really don't care that much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If he did have to serve things, I say this is light work. because really and truly, he's gonna go in there. He's not
and
gonna
make
spend
he's
150
gonna be
days.
having his life. You know what I mean? Just pick it
No,
like you get a, you get a.
no, we're not gonna
No?
do that. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. So he's gonna go there, and he's gonna get out
It's
on
gonna
good
be a life of
behavior.
the party, yeah. I'm sorry, yes, definitely good behavior.
We're not gonna do that. He's gonna get on good behavior, so he's
You
not
go
gonna
get
spend.
on good behavior. Go ahead.
No, he's not gonna spend 150 days in there. The
Mm-hmm.
30 days probation, light work
Mm-hmm.
as well. I
Yeah,
mean, you weren't really saying nothing anyway, so just stay at home for a month, chill
yeah.
out, do nothing.
You guys did not find him guilty the first time over lying, so you waste more taxpayers' money to put him through trial again for lying to get him a conviction of 6 months. That's crazy to me, bro. You literally, you know how much money it takes to put someone through a trial, and you put that the taxpayers' money for 6 months, twice
Mm.
for 6 months. It just, and that's what my problem is that it's all about the judicial system is more about social media and what people think rather than actually doing good. That's the whole
Yeah.
point. Like they just wanted to prove that they caught him in a lie, a celebrity in a lie, and he's going to pay for it rather than actually catching horrible murderers and criminals off the street. That's all I'm saying.
No, I agree. Uh, I have the best advice for women in business. Kim Kardashian says, "Get your effing ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days." So, Jamil,
Yeah,
what's that?
Jamal Hill.
No. So the Good Place,
A good place. Yeah,
the Good Place with Ted Danson,
yeah. I know them.
Kristen,
It's a good place.
eh,
Which one?
the Indian lady.
Indian. Okay.
Yeah. So that's Jamil.
Okay.
And she commented, "I think if you grew up in Beverly Hills with super successful parents in what was simply a smaller mansion, nobody needs to hear your thoughts on success slash work ethic. The same 24 hours in the day issues a nightmare. 99.9% of the world grew up with a very different 24 hours."
Mhm.
And I agree. How are you giving advice to people about working? Now, you know what? I can't say all that because you know what? Maybe growing up, they were under harder times, financial distress. We don't know. We
We
don't
don't
know.
know, but we know who her father was. And
Exactly. But see, this is the thing. Also, with successful people, yes, they get paid a lot, but they also spend a lot. So, no, hear me out. Like doctors, a lot of doctors, because they get paid a lot, they spend a lot and
yeah.
they want to keep up with the Joneses. So they'll
Mm-hmm.
buy the nicest cars and be the biggest houses, but now they're in debt because they still have to pay for school and they have to pay off all these things that they bought because they're trying to keep up with the other doctors and other
Yeah.
lawyers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying that it's in their situation or this was their situation, but it could have been. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, obviously, there was a turning point for them if that was the case, and they're making money.
What was the
And it's
turning
not
point?
because of, well, there was a turning point somewhere, somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm saying
What?
maybe
No,
the
but what
OJ
do you
Simpson
think?
trial.
Are you
I'm
saying
saying
that was the
maybe
turning point?
I feel like that's where
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was a very, high profile client. That's what I'm speaking about. I'm not
Oh
speaking about anybody's tapes.
no,
I'm just
because
speaking of
even when you said a high profile client, it could still be what I was thinking. So I was just trying to clarify.
because, and then this is why I'm saying she did not. It's not to say she didn't work because she
Mm.
was Paris Hilton's assistant. No, but anyways, that's all I'm saying. Like,
I
yeah,
get you
I
on
get
that,
it. You're giving advice, but you're
but
not really qualified to give that type of advice because your working was not like our working.
exactly, it's that take pick up by your bootstraps or tie yourself up or pick yourself up by your
Yeah.
bootstraps type of rhetoric. Now, again, the sentiment is not wrong. Yes, we should all get up and work and strive for best. So again, but the fact that like what's her name? Jamel said, it's not the same thing. Again, you might have just been a fashion consultant for whomsoever, but how did you get into the door? Like, it's not the same for everybody. Everyone doesn't have the same opportunities. Not to give anybody excuses, but you have to be realistic to your life compared to 99% of the world. You know what I mean? You're not in circles of billionaires, majority of the people. You know what I mean? So you could be getting paid thousands of dollars easily to tell somebody to wear a jacket. That's not the regular job for the average person, you know? So I'm just saying it bothers me, but you know, she bothers me, to be honest. She's bothered me for a long time. So just another thing to add to that. What time
you know
is
what
it?
time it is?
What time is it?
It's time for Tales on the internet. All right. So this one goes as follows. Damn, man ghosted his fiance on their wedding day because she had a bachelorette party and a video was sent to him from her sister of the male stripper having chocolate drip off his private part into her mouth. LOL. So what's your opinion on this? And is he wrong or is she wrong? Go.
So I think she is wrong. Because again, that is just disrespectful. And I think that her sister's wrong. You know what I mean? Like, that was just ridiculous. You know, like, regardless of what she did, which was horrible, and you know what I mean, in my opinion, that's just disrespectful to the person. That's who does that. Like, that's just weird, disgusting. But again, that's her decision. She's wrong. There's no even. But the sister, what were you thinking? Like, that you really sabotaged your sister's marriage, knowing what you were doing, because no one could tell me you thought that was going to be hilarious and send it to her husband. You know what I mean, or a future husband. So I think that both are wrong between the sister. I don't blame him. Like, again, for someone to just disrespect you the night before your wedding, no, bro. Okay. That's not something you need to be with. Yeah.
I have a question for you. Okay. Suppose, obviously, this did not happen to you, so you don't have to.
What you hear?
I was there, you remember?
Yeah.
Okay, so you are having your bachelor party.
Okay.
There are dancers there.
Okay.
So one of the dancers, she takes, say, Johnny Walker Black Label. Okay. She takes it and she pours it from her neck, so it goes in between her bosoms and it lands in her belly button, and you take shots out of her belly button. Is that wrong?
It's okay. It's wrong, but it's borderline not acceptable, but you could get over it. Now, if she took it, boom, and it dropped all the way down her body, and then no, that's not acceptable. Like, if you would have said that the sister sent a video of the guy, boom, and then it's on his belly button and she drank it off, and then I'd be like, dude, you know what I mean? It's okay to be angry.
The reason why I said that is because I was like, okay. Like, I was like, I mean, obviously they have more than one area.
I know,
so I was like, okay, like, yeah, but I get what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if the sister sent a video of that on his belly button and she boom, I would still be angry about it. I ain't gonna lie. And I wouldn't blame him for being angry about it. But would it be angry enough to call off a wedding? I don't think so. But then if it's, you know, doom and my wife got a video of me drinking it from there, I guarantee you she would call it off, and I wouldn't even blame her for that, bro. Like, I'd be like, I don't know.
I was like, you know what? I ain't even mad at you. Just tell me who sent you the video. Who sent you the video?
That's exactly it. That's it. You know, clearly we're over. I'm good. I'm okay. I understand. We got closure. It's over. But who sent you the video? That's it. I feel you.
No. Like, it brings me back to that time where we were having a discussion. The gentleman who had the cameras in his house, his girl brought the dude. He came home and kicked him out.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know, like you keep the stuff for like evidence and as a reminder. So if you start trying to like play things in your mind to be like, you know what, maybe they were just, you have the proof, so there's no backpedaling.
Exactly.
It's one of those things where I feel like I'd be like, maybe, okay, maybe, but that's there. And yeah.
Exactly. No, that's foul though. That's disrespectful. Like, there's no way around it. Like, that's disrespectful, man. Drinking from the private area, that's not even a question. Again, silliness, you might be able to let slide. You'd be bothered, but a belly button, boom, you can let that slide. Wrong, but let it slide. But once it starts really touching genitals, bruh.
So hold on. So suppose she just pours it off her chest and into your mouth.
I wouldn't
see. Now this is the thing. Mm-hmm. For you and I, we'd be like, it's not as bad. But for a female, she might be like,
100%. No, 100%. And that's why I'm not knocking even the concept of it. Me, I wouldn't do it because that's not the type of man I am. You know what I mean? But yeah, shit. But
you have to pour down the crack of an ass for me to drink the big.
Put that straw away. But no, the thing is, I honestly would just find it disgusting regardless. Like, I'm not that type of person. You get what I mean? And that's not even just to say. Like, I really find certain things as nasty. Like, I'd be like, ugh, even if it was a belly button thing, I'd be like, no, I'm not from a belly button.
Exactly.
Girl. So I'm not that type. But some people do get lost like that and do certain things like that. So, but I think that it still wouldn't be the same. I could see how someone would be bothered, but I still don't think it would be enough to, call off a wedding. You know what I mean? And vice versa. If a guy, I don't know what other part of the body a guy could do, but his arm or even his chest, you know what I mean? It'd still be annoying. You'd be upset, bothered, but it's not enough. But once it starts touching lower extremities, nah. It's done. It's done. The person definitely crossing the line.
Okay, so for my segment of the things that keep me up at night, my question for you is, do you think bad people know that they're bad?
Yes.
Or do you think that
I give you the answer?
They may have. Well, no. I understand.
No, go ahead.
But because they might be brainwashed into really thinking, because they do so much bad or they do it so often, they think that it's right what they're doing or is justified. So they don't think that they're bad. It's just, it has to be done.
I think it's twofold. I think that bad people know they're bad and they justify it by saying that's just them. It's an easy way to just accept bad behavior and everybody else to just accept it. Like, yeah, that's just, but no, it's bad behavior. You know what I mean? I think that, but I think they know it, but it's acceptable because they know it. So they don't try to change or do better. That's what I think. If that makes any sense.
Okay. I guess so, but I don't know. I feel like but see, this is the thing. Okay. And I don't necessarily mean like bad, like going and shooting people and robbing people.
No, yeah.
But like just the borderline things where it's like, that's messed up. Like, I wonder if they really know if it's really messed up.
They know. They know. Except people accept it. Usually.
But see, the thing is, a lot of people, like, they may think, well, I'm not saying they play the victim, but in their mind, they're always the victim. So it could be justified them doing what they're doing because, hey, you know what? This is me getting my break from my string of bad luck. So this is what I'm saying. Do they really?
But think
know,
about it. If you need to justify something, that means that that something you most likely shouldn't have done. If I need to justify, I did this.
I've never asked anybody. I'm just saying this is
but that's most of the time why they like. That's the whole point. They justify their actions by saying no, and they would do that if if she was on the other foot, they would do that to me. But the whole point is you have to think that someone would do. That means what you're doing is not right. You're finding a reason to do it. That's my whole point. I believe people know. Again, if it's a mistake, it's a mistake. We're not talking about that. We're talking about people consciously doing bad things. Majority of whether acting bad, saying bad stuff, being
But
rude,
that's it.
whatever it is.
It's not consciously bad. It could be
I'm telling
unconsciously
you.
or subconsciously.
No, sometimes
They may
mistakes
not know that.
happen. Sometimes mistakes happen.
But this is, I'm not saying it's a mistake. I'm saying that it could
Give me
just
an
be.
example of something bad. Go. That someone could do without realizing.
Yeah.
Because generally speaking, when someone is rude all the time, majority of the time they know they're rude. It's just that's become a part of their personality. You get what I mean? And people accepted it as their personality. But that doesn't mean that they don't know they're rude. They just seen that it's okay. When it comes to somebody just having a bad temper, it's been told to them quite a few times, you have a bad temper. It's not like it's just you stumbled upon it or one time you got mad. No, it's because you have a bad temper. But they justify it by saying, no, I have a bad temper. And everyone's just like, yeah, you know he has a bad temper. And that's how they keep it going. They know that what they're doing is just that people accept it and they are able to accept it as well. But it doesn't mean that they don't know what they're doing.
Okay. So this may tie into what like being a bad person, but subconsciously not knowing, not really. Okay. So there was a post that I seen. I think I may have sent it to you. So basically, this dude and his ex-wife. He's a 32-year-old dude. He split from his ex-wife, say a year ago. They were married for 7 years. They were married for 7 years, and they had a 6-year-old daughter. Come to find out that the 6-year-old daughter, who he raised from birth, was not his, because his wife cheated on him with obviously another gentleman.
Yeah.
So he divorced her.
Yeah.
And he wants nothing to do with the child because the child is not his. He spent his hard-earned money on the child that didn't belong to him. So he left her, and it was what it was. She moved back in with the father of the child, or she moved in with him after they divorced and everything.
Yeah.
And maybe they had an argument, but the father of the child ended up murdering the mother and the daughter.
Yeah.
And they were telling him to go to the funeral, and he said, no, I don't owe them anything. I don't want to say goodbye because that's my ex-wife and her child. I don't owe them anything. I don't want to say goodbye. It is what it is.
Yeah.
People are saying he's messed up, and people call him an a-hole because of that. So that scenario, okay? Is he wrong? Now, obviously, this is a one-off. So, I mean, it's not to say he does this every day. But it's just one of those things where it's like...
Yes, he's wrong. He's wrong. Not to go to the wife's funeral. Like, whatever is whatever. But you were in a kid's life for 7 years. And for her to have passed from such a horrible way, but even if it wasn't a horrible way, but just for her to pass and you say, because I've seen the post, say like the bastard child or whatever, like, you know, the way he phrased it, disgusting. I'm sorry, like, it's disgusting. There's no way to even say like, no, you're a bad person. You're a bad person. I know you might be speaking from a hurt place, but for you to have that type of hurt and be willing to just throw that out there, spew that out there, you're a bad person. You need to find some healing. So no, I think he's a bad person. Again, not going to the wife's funeral, I understand, whatever. But for a kid that you raised for 7 years, that you believed was yours, and then for you to fully kick the kid out of your life, first of all, I understand it might be a lot of pain, but still, to just kick a kid out of your life, it would be difficult to do. And then much less the kid ends up passing, and you be like, the kid ain't mine, bastard kid, whatever. Nah, bro, there's a special place in hell for you. That's my opinion. How about you?
See, I don't agree.
Okay, let me hear something.
Now, I mean, his feelings are his feelings. So we can't say how he's supposed to feel.
I can, but I hear you.
I really and truly believe he was just that hurt. And this is why this happened. So him using all these terms, calling a bastard child and this and that, and he whatever, it's him being hurt and him trying to protect himself. Now them telling him to go to the funeral, he doesn't want to go to the funeral because I can assure you, if he went to the funeral, he would have broke down, because it's one of those things where even though I found out this child was not mine, I'm going to go and see this child in a box. As much as he would want to try to hold up the, I don't care, she cheated on me, she's this and she's that, he would have seen her laying there and he would have broke. And at this point, it's one of those things where he's still angry, or he's still trying to hold on to the anger. So he's not trying to make himself.
You know what? Just from you talking, I'm not saying you changed my mind at all. Because of course I agree it's his choice, but I'm not saying you changed my mind. But from you talking, maybe he could feel partially responsible. And that's why he's going so hard.
And that's exactly it. I feel like the reason why he's so angry, the reason why is because of this. And then also it's, I mean, him kicking her out and having nothing to do with the child.
That's what I'm saying.
Up, but I get it, because
that
it's
part
a reminder.
Well,
no. It's a reminder that she cheated on me and had this child with somebody else. And this is supposed to be my child. I'm supposed to love this child and give this child everything. And now I feel like I was just played for.
Exactly. Played with.
So this is why I'm like, you know what? I get what he's saying. I don't agree with it. I wouldn't do it personally. I'd be upset. I would probably be like, yo, just don't talk to me. Like, I will speak to the child and the child only. Do not speak to me. Do not try to call me. Do not contact me. And I will deal with the child directly. Just leave me alone. And that's it. But I mean, people are different. So I don't know. I once again, he's wrong for the language he's using, and I get it. He's hurt. But no.
Hey, so let's talk about the mother making bad choices. Am I right? Like, no.
We're not going to do that.
No.
We're not going to do that.
I'm just saying.
And now there was another post I seen on Instagram. So he's going on his rant about basically you'll leave a woman and a child because you find out the child's not yours, even though the child's been in your life for 16 years. But you'll go out with a girl who has kids and you'll raise those kids like they're your own, even though they have a father. So he's like, yo, basically do better. Like, the child has nothing to do with it. Be with the child. And I get that. But it's a different scenario. And I say this because if you're with somebody and they, like the other one, they cheated on you and had a child out of wedlock, and then you find out, you're hurt. I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong to, well, no, it's wrong to take it out on the child. The child didn't do anything. But I understand you're hurt. So that's a different. If you meet somebody and they have children, okay, you know what's coming along with it. So this person didn't hurt you. They cannot hurt you and say, this is your child and I was keeping them from you, unless you've been with them before and you've revisited it and they kept it a secret all these years. But that's why it's a different scenario. Now, once again, I feel it's wrong to leave the child because the child didn't do anything. But once again, if you're hurt, you're hurt. So I don't blame people for doing it per se. I personally wouldn't do it. So I guess this all ties into the same thing.
No, it definitely does. Definitely does. So first of all, I think he's just trying to justify being a simp. That's what it sounds like. He's just trying to justify being a simp. And secondly, tell me the kid ain't yours without telling me the kid ain't yours. That's what I'm saying. Because homie's got it's like, how would you? And it's like, bruh, those kids, you know, you see his family picture, you're just looking at his family picture. Bruh, listen, man, no, it's not the same thing. Apples and oranges. For one, you could just break it down to the easiest denominator. One person can't be trusted and the other person might be able to be trusted. Like, one person's lying and the other person, we'll just say, is not lying. If someone comes into a relationship with kids, whatnot, and is being truthful, regardless, you're able to accept it, understand it, you move on. But if me and you are building a home together and 16 years later I find out that you cheated on me and you, whether you've known or not, that doesn't matter, but you cheated on me and there's a possibility of someone else being the father, I cannot trust you. I shouldn't have trusted you 16 years ago. The foundation is broken. So it's his justification just makes no sense. Like I said, he's simping. He's basically just, when someone, those memes where it goes nobody, and then they have the one person. Like that's what it is. Like nobody. That he's just like, yo, if she cheats on you, who cares, man? Your reason fighting an argument nobody was having, man. So man, just simping for no reason, G. Simping for no reason. Chris Brown, there was an alleged accuser saying that he sexually assaulted her and whatnot. So my man, he ain't playing games. He saw what happened with Trey Songz. He sees what's happened with so many people. He's like, listen, he did it to himself. He brought this to the police and was just like, look, here's like here's 7 years worth of text messages between me and her and exactly what went on. He's like, and I am willing to sue. You know what I mean? If she wants to go forward. Hey, low clap. That's how you handle it, bruh. That's how you handle it.
That's really how you handle it.
Exactly. Some people play it too cool. You know what I mean? The truth will come out. Like, no. I'm gonna make the truth come out. You ain't gonna try to tarnish my name, and I respect it. I appreciate it, man. How about you? How you feel about it?
No, I agree. If you have the proof to clear your name right away with no ifs, ands, or buts about it, do it. But don't. Well, you're too cool for school. I ain't gonna say nothing. Cause I know God knows my heart. Like, yeah, God knows your heart. The rest of the world don't though, and they're the people who's gonna judge you while you're here. So don't wait on these people. Clear your name. Do what you gotta do. It's like Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion. Pardon me, where it came out that he sent her messages apologizing. Now she's saying, oh, well, he's apologizing for the shooting. And he's saying, no, I was apologizing for sleeping with both of them. And it's like, if you had all this information, you should have just gave it to begin with instead of leaving it and letting it fester for so long. But you know what? I mean,
hey, that's wild, man. Definitely wild, man.
Let me ask you a question, though. Why do you think DJ Akademiks hates women so much? And I say this because he's going in on the whole Tory and Meg situation. And I'm like, this has nothing to do with you. Why are you so angry with her? Like, you can stay out of it. You don't have to be a part of it.
So, I don't necessarily like taking up for DJ Akademiks. Mind you, I've become more and more, he's kind of paused. He's kind of wearing me down right now, man, because his content is pretty good. I can't lie. I mean, he's starting to seem less like a punk. I ain't going front. But with the Megan Thee Stallion situation, I don't think he's wrong. I honestly don't think he's wrong. The thing is, he initially came out saying what Tory Lanez's lawyer told him, right? He worded it a little bit off, but he legit was at least speaking facts. She came out pretty much accusing him of being bought by Tory Lanez. You know what I mean? Like, oh, because you're in the da-da-da-da-da. And at that point, he was like, listen, bro. And he now got on the defensive. I don't think he really, in my opinion, was coming at her in the beginning. More so just saying that what you call Tory Lanez people and Tory Lanez say that they, you know what I mean, feel as though they got a good thing coming, basically, long story short. And she totally, and that's always been my issue with Meg Thee Stallion. It seems like she's fighting social media, not fighting a case. Anytime someone says something about the case on social media, she has to come out and reply. And that's my whole issue with her. It doesn't seem like it's a genuine problem. You know what I mean? Like, somebody hurt me, boom, boom. It's more so, what are other people thinking? And why do other people attacking or bring it up? I have to fight them rather than fighting a case. Long story short, all that to say, I don't think in this situation he was wrong, because she was coming at him first, and she was, and I don't blame him for arguing his integrity or his journalistic integrity at that point, saying that I'm picking a side because I'm stating what's supposed to be a fact.
But my thing is, you don't have to argue everything. Okay, you proved your point.
That's what he gets paid on. That's what he does. He's a content creator. Like that's what he gets paid on. If anything, she doesn't have to argue everything.
No. I mean, okay, you already said what
Mhm.
you said. She said
Mhm.
what she said. Okay, cool. But it's like, okay, you said what you said, and you're still going, and you're still like, okay, we
Are
get it.
people watching it? When the views go down, he'll stop doing it. If I come on this podcast right now and I say and every time I say we get 1 million views. You better believe every podcast I'm going to say Same thing. If he brings up Meg the Stallion and everyone's watching and wants to see what
Mm.
he's gonna bring up Meg the Stallion again. It's I don't. That's why I don't see anything wrong with it because she's the one that created something out of it. So he's gonna find a way to make money off of it.
But anyways, it wasn't even that
Mhm.
specific thing. But I feel like he's like, and once again, correct me if I'm wrong. He's a new Funk Flex, where if dudes say anything, it's well,
Mhm.
whatever. Like, okay, I don't even care. Like, but if women say something, it's like, what do you mean? Ah, and you're loud and like it's just like,
I don't
okay,
agree.
I get it.
I don't agree. Academics be going at people's heads, yo. That's why I'm finding a newfound kind of
See,
respect. Everybody, G.
I mean, I
Everybody could
stopped
get
watching
it.
him now, but
Yeah, everybody could
before
get
it
it. Yo,
was,
someone put a battery in his bag, bro. I don't know who did. I think Whack 100 did it, bro. Somebody put a battery in his back. Like we saw it kind of happening when he was hanging out with 6ix9ine, going at Meek Mill and all that stuff, blah blah blah. No, now that he's hung out with Whack 100, it seems like yo, nobody getting the pass, yo. Let someone say something about him. He's going at their heads. I'm like, he's definitely keeping it pretty even on his beefing. That's all I'm saying.
okay. Well, I said, correct me if I'm wrong. I stand corrected.
Yeah. You know how I felt about when he got punked by Vic Mensa and just how he was standing beside 6ix9ine and just co-signing his
Mm.
foolery. But now it seems like he's at least standing on his own square and handling this thing. So that's why I'm kind of entertained by it, and I'm like giving him a pass at this moment. But
Mm.
yeah, you know what I mean. Unless he rolls with
Yeah,
somebody like Whack 100. Like I don't like Whack 100 at all, bro. I don't like him at all. He's whack. Have you seen anything from this guy?
I've seen like bits and pieces of things. Like,
Bro,
I don't know.
he's just a trash talker. He's like 6ix9ine with no talent. And I can't believe I'm actually saying 6ix9ine has talent. Right? But the talent 6ix9ine has, he has none. Like no talent. He's a 6ix9ine, no, he's the troll that thinks he's gangster, that's always trying to fight people. Like he pisses me off, bro. He's so annoying, G. He's so annoying, man. There's always someone for me to hate, bro, and that's the guy. And he started hating since actually no, he's been hating since Tupac and stuff. But even past that, once he started hanging out with 6ix9ine, he's like trying to find snitches, bro. Like he's justifying his hanging out with snitches. So he says like Freaky Zeke's a snitch, Jim Jones is a snitch. Basically just random people. Some of the stuff he'll pull up is real paperwork, some stuff is fake paperwork. Then he tries to control a narrative to make it, you know what I mean, seem like something it isn't.
Yeah.
Bro, he does like a snitch witch hunt like each week. Now that he's hanging out with 6ix9ine, bro. Like, what part of the streets is that, bro? It's weak, bro. It's weak sauce.
Well,
Weak sauce.
yeah.
Once again, this is Cuz the Internet podcast. You can follow us on all platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, as well as you can write us on CuzTheInternet at gmail.com. I'm your host, Trey.
And I'm your Jose. And remember, if it's on the internet, we'll talk about it. Hey, yo.
I